Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to day 5, Introduction to AWS Migration Services. And like any other session, there's a disclaimer. All the opinion expressed by me is solely mine and has nothing to do with my employer. So let's start, right? As name suggests, what is migration service? There is a collection of services which let you migrate your on-prem uh, data center data to AWS cloud, right? We have AWS DataSync, we have a Snowball, we have a data migration services, we have server migration services, we have AWS Transfer Assembly, we have AWS Migration Hub, AWS Application Discovery Services. So there's a bunch of services is available under AWS Migration Services. In this today's session, we'll try to uh, try to learn about these three: AWS DataSync, Snowball, and AWS uh, data migration services. And specifically, we're going to do a demo around data migration service. The reason being, uh, AWS DataSync and Snowball is require you to means it is there for you to copy the on-prem data to cloud, and Snowball is like, okay, we have a lot of data, and you can migrate your lot of petabyte of data or terabyte of data from your on-prem to AWS cloud. But data migration services, as you know, right, we are planning to have a more depth uh, session around databases. And this is one of the very critical service to learn around, okay, how you can migrate your existing on-prem data to AWS cloud, right? In AWS, we have a RDS, which is Relational Database Services, which we are going to learn in our upcoming sessions. So knowing this service will definitely help you. Okay, if you're planning to migrate your existing database from on-premises to from on-premises to AWS RDS. So let's start, right? First is AWS DataSync. So AWS DataSync is a new service which was launched in 2018, and this service is it allow you to copy your data from on-premises to AWS via internet or direct connect. So direct connect is nothing but it will let you have a connection between your uh, on-premises data center and your cloud. And data sync is like, okay, you're having means it provides you a client, so you are installing a client on your data center, and that client will let you copy the data to AWS. It allow you to copy data into your S3 bucket and or Amazon file system, and Amazon Elastic File Storage System in the Amazon EFS. So you can able to perform copy into this kind of destination. So if you have some kind of SFTP data, you can copy into Amazon file system, and it comes with the Windows and as well as Linux, but it will allow you to copy on both of them, and then as well as you can able to copy into S3, and you're able to copy the data from EFS. So DataSync is very powerful service, and I believe a lot of people are using AWS DataSync to copy their data. And the best part about AWS DataSync is you're only paying how much data you are copying from your on-premises to AWS cloud. So that's really a good option with AWS DataSync. And thereafter, we are having something called Snowball, and so it's come with we call it a Snowball family. It has multiple options. So one is your AWS Snowball, and this is like when I saw very first time this AWS Snowball, I was like, okay, this is really cool because it literally give you a suitcase kind of a storage where you bring and just connect to your connect in your network and copy everything. So if you have to kind of draw a comparison, uh, it is like providing you a hard drive, right? And you're connecting that hard drive to your computer and copying all the file. And if you like, let's say if you wanted to move that file, from your computer to different computer. It is similar in a way. It will provide you option to copy multi-terabyte of data, usually more than 10 terabyte of data. And when you have more than 10 terabyte of data, you want to use AWS Snowball. So you are connecting this device to your network, and it comes with the USB ports. To see if you clear look into this diagram, they have a USB port. So is it like, okay, you are just inserting that USB port and connecting to your server and then copying everything. And once you're done with it, it also provides you encryption, so all the data is secure. And once it's done, you're going and copying the data into AWS in AWS cloud, and the AWS engineers able to copy your data, and then you are able to access that data through your S3 bucket. So this is really cool. And this is kind of offline of copying your data, and it's really fast. So like, let's say if you're copying your data over internet, the transfer rate is very slow as compared to when you're copying your data directly from the Snowball. Snowball has its brother, we call it Snowball Edge. What's the difference between Snowball and Snowball Edge is Snowball do not have any compute power, but Snowball Edge comes with a compute power. What does it mean? It means like in a Snowball, you are copying your data, even your data is in transit, you're able to perform some kind of operation into it. So it's come with your EC2 machine, it's come with a Lambda, and so it's really nice. Like even your data is in transit, you're able to use your data and able to do some kind of a compute against your data. Okay, yeah. So there is a lot of different use cases between these two, where you wanted to use Snowball and where you wanted to use Snowball Edge. So let's say if you just wanted to import all your data to and from S3, Amazon S3, you can use Snowball or Snowball Edge. But rest of the stuff, like if you wanted to have a durable local storage, you can use, because Snowball comes with EC2 machine, right? So it will provide you local storage too as well. And then if you wanted to perform some kind of compute by using AWS Lambda or Amazon EC2, you can do as well. It also provides you clusters of devices which you can use. And then it also comes with the IoT green grass. And just do not worry about all these services as of now. Just the whole idea for you to remember, okay, if someone asks you in interview, what is the difference between Snowball and Snowball Edge, is Snowball only comes with a storage. Snowball Edge comes with a storage as well as compute. So that is the primary difference between these two services. I mean, there are multiple use cases which you can tell them, but if someone asks you, okay, this is the primary difference between these two services. Thereafter, we have, if you have to look on the storage side, okay, what's the difference between these two services? Snowball comes with the two variants. One is your 50 terabyte of data. Other one is your 80 terabyte of data, in which like 42 and then 72 terabyte of data is usable respectively. And if we talk about Snowball Edge, it has more storage. One comes with a like 100 terabyte single machine. Other one comes as a 100 terabyte cluster machine. So you have it. Different kind of variance between these two. And thereafter, we are having something called AWS Snowmobile. And I just really wanted to play this video for you guys, so this way you guys see, like, because when I saw this video very first time, even I was really I'm not So this guy, he's Andy Jassy. He's the CEO of AWS. So when he was introducing AWS Snowmobile in the reInvent, and it was very dramatic presentation of bringing something on stage, and you guys will be amazed to see this one as well. I'm not sure whether you're able to hear that audio. I will definitely put this link into the description, which you're able to see it. But Snowball is literally a truck, and which let you move your exabyte of data into AWS. It means like you're literally moving. If you're a very big enterprise and if you have an exabyte of data, you're literally able to move everything to AWS cloud. So um, uh, so, so just look at this presentation. Uh, they literally brought this truck to the stage to showcase, okay, how much data Snowmobile can store, right? So I was literally amazed to see. So it means like it has a lot of storage power for you to store your data. So see this, like, this is so much of fun to watch him when he was bringing this entire truck into stage. Okay, and it has like 100 petabyte of container, and so this is really kind of a big storage, and I've never seen that uh, much big storage ever in my life. So yeah, that is your snowmobile. Usually, when you go for no, when you go for interview, or maybe appearing for any kind of certification, the question usually asks, I have like 50 terabyte of data. I wanted to move to cloud. Which service is best suited for it? And maybe it's not going to be that straightforward. It's like, okay, they give you some kind of scenario, but that context will remain same. And maybe they will ask you, okay, I have like 50 terabyte of data. I wanted to move to cloud, but when I'm moving into cloud, I wanted to do some kind of a nightly job, or wanted to run some kind of ETL. So when you say like, okay, I wanted to run some kind of ETL against my moving data, it means I need some kind of compute power. So answer will be your AWS Snowmobile Edge, right? Snowball Edge. When they said like, okay, I have to copy like exabyte of storage, right? Then what service I can use? Then you definitely it is only because Snowball and Snowball Edges only allow you to copy some terabyte of data. Means you can order as many as Snowball, but like, okay, if you have an exabyte of data, you definitely want to use Snowmobile. So this kind of question usually it get, and it is very easy question to answer. Let's move to the next. I'm sorry. So thereafter, we have something called Data Migration Service, and I think this is the most important service in terms of learning we have in migration and transfer services. Uh, Data migration services allow you to migrate your existing databases, on-prem database, or database or maybe your database running in RDS, but it's a bit more kind of a Microsoft SQL Server or Oracle, which is your traditional kind of database, to open source database like MySQL or PostgreSQL. So it will allow you to copy the data from, it will allow you to migrate this kind of databases to an open source database. It has a two kind of a migration. One is your homogeneous migration. It means when you're copying, let's say if you have a Oracle database up and running in your traditional, in your data center, and you wanted to move the database to Oracle RDS on AWS. RDS is your relational database service. So you can use data migration services. And let's say if you have a Oracle and you wanted to move to PostgreSQL, which is your open source, or maybe you wanted to move to MySQL, or let's say if you're having Microsoft SQL Server, or you wanted to move to Postgres and MySQL, you can use data migration service. So the question usually comes, okay, why you wanted to move your database, right? Means for MySQL to Oracle to MySQL, or Oracle to Oracle to Postgres, or maybe it's Microsoft SQL Server to MySQL, or Microsoft SQL Server to Postgres. Any taker of this question, why you think like usually people move from this kind of databases to the open source database? Okay, let me answer for you. The reason being, usually that the databases, which is kind of enterprise grade database, we call it Microsoft SQL Server or Oracle. These are very expensive. The licensing costs are very, very expensive for these databases. So that's the reason usually, usually enterprises, in order to cut down that licensing cost, they try to move from Oracle to MySQL or PostgreSQL, and same goes with the Microsoft SQL Server. So, as I said, like it has and Microsoft the database migration services. It contains two parts. One is your schema conversion tool. It is like, okay, when you're moving your data from one database to another database, you're converting schemas, right? Schemas contain your database, your tables, your all kind of object, your store procedure, your views, triggers, etc. Everything, you wanted to convert from one source to another source. So let's say if you wanted to convert from Microsoft SQL Server to MySQL Server, so the first step is like, okay, converting all the schema. And once you're done with converting a schema, you wanted to migrate the data. So schema conversion tool let you convert your schema from either it's a homogeneous conversion, which is like converting from Oracle to Oracle, or it's a heterogeneous conversion, or converting from Oracle to Postgres or MySQL, or Microsoft SQL Server to Postgres MySQL. And once you're done with converting your schema, the second option comes, okay, migrating the existing data. And for migrating the existing data, you are using data migration tool. So in AWS, you can install data migration services, schema conversion tool locally, as well as you can install on EC2 machine, and it do not compromise. It do not have any cost associated to it. But when you start moving your data, you have to select an instance type in order to move your data. Let me quickly show you how this services works. Right. This is really nice to know, and knowing this migration will definitely help you. And what I did is, just one second. What I did is I have built this. Document, and I will share this document with you. And as this service, as it required a lot of maybe around a couple of hours for you to migrate everything, it has. I try to put everything, starting from having your database created, stored, and then installing the schema conversion tool on EC2 machine, and then performing the data migration services. I will share this document with you guys, so you guys get an opportunity for you to try. What I will do here is I will just walk you through how you can perform this stuff on your, when you. Let me just give you a demo. So, okay, I have. So what we have here is. We are still able to see my screen here, right? Okay, so we have, this is my EC2 machine, and on EC2 machine, I have my RDS database connected. Means what I did is just install Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio and just connected to this RDS instance. So RDS instance is, let me quickly show you where is my RDS instance. And we're going to have a couple of sessions around RDS, which is relational database services in Amazon. So if I go here and type RDS, so don't worry about as of now around multiple component here in RDS, but just understand what is RDS just for this services. So right now what I'm doing is I'm running a Microsoft SQL Server. I gave this MS SQL DMS, and there's another service. If you look here, right, it is Microsoft SQL Server Standard Edition. This is my machine type, and this is up and running, and this is this is another database, which is MySQL Community Database. So what I'm looking into this demo is to migrate data from MySQL DMS server, which is MySQL Standard Edition server, to MySQL database. So for that, what I need to do is my first step is to create a schema conversion tool. And what schema conversion tool do is to convert the schema from one source to another, right? So first step is I'm going, and what I did is I have installed the schema conversion tool, and the document which I will share with you, this one, it has all the steps. Okay, how you can install that schema conversion tool, and how you can perform all other operation. So there is something called install AWS CST. I have link available for you guys to download and everything. Is download this tool and install on your EC2 instance. And once you're done with installation, it will be looking like this one. And once you're going here, I'm opening the schema conversion tool. Or you can install this schema conversion tool on your local machine as well. You don't need to be on EC2. And here, what I'm doing is I'm just creating a project. I'm calling this project is MS SQL to MySQL migration, right? So what I'm doing is I'm transferring OLTP, which is Microsoft SQL Server is an OLTP kind of database, is online transaction processing, and then there is something called OLAP as well, and there's something called NoSQL. So this is like this comes as the OLTP database Microsoft SQL. So I have to select my source. By default, it's coming as an Oracle, but I've selected SQL Server, and the target will be your target will be MySQL, right? So this is what I'm doing. I've selected OK. So now I have to connect to my source. So as I have already checked, so it is showing here But what you need to do is you have to get that source database name, which is running here. So if you go here, if I have to go to RDF, so this is your connect. Sorry, this is your endpoint is your server name. So I'm connecting. If you see here, I'm connecting with this server name, and this is my port, which is mentioned in here, and this is the username. You can find the username under the configuration. So this is your admin, and then when you are creating this instance type, right? And I have you are providing that password. So, and once you provide your password and try to do the test connection and see if you're able to connect to your instance. So I'm able to successfully connect to my instance, which is running RDS Microsoft SQL Server RDS instance. Once done, I click on OK. So what it's trying to do is it's trying to load all the metadata which is available on my SQL Server. And when I say like all the metadata, it means I'm talking about all the databases, and within the databases, I'm talking about all the tables and all those store procedures, etc. Right? And there are multiple triggers and everything as such. So it means all the objects trying to load here. So let's see. Okay, if it showed like this one, interrupted because of data fetching, anyway, just cancel this one and go to your database schemas. Here, it will try to bring everything. So if you see here, it has all kind of constraint, all kind of table uh, showing here, data load. So it's showing, okay, what all things are there. So showing multiple databases, multiple schemas. This is your schema, DView is your schema, human resource is your schema. Within a schema, we have a multiple tables, views, store procedures. So everything, it's able to bring everything here. So this is our source. What we're going to do is now let's connect to your destination. So your destination again will be your this is your destination. So this is where I wanted to put into it. So when I go into this database, this is the endpoint, right? This is what we have here, and I provided this is a port number, and this is my user ID, and let's provide the password. Okay, that is my password. Just one second. Okay, this is my password. Showing like, okay, the database version that you connected is, which is license recommended, this one. So the MS SQL database which I have created earlier is not matching the recommended version. So when you're creating your RDS instance when you're creating your database here in RDS instance, just ensure you are creating with a higher configuration when you go here and create database. So here you are selecting what kind of wanted to have it here for Microsoft SQL. Sorry, MS SQL. You are selecting that latest version. I have this one, which is default, but you wanted to select maybe 8.011, whatever you like to have it, you can select there. Logo, go back. Once you're done, click OK. And here, if you see, now what we need to do is we have to create a report. What does it mean? When we have a heterogeneous kind of conversion, right? We wanted to see what all table is being migrated, uh, what all table we will able to migrate, what all store procedure will able to migrate, what all trigger which able to migrate. So in AWS schema conversion tool, it generate a report. It check the compatibility between these two databases and provide you a result, and will tell you, okay, this much of data is out of this many tables, you are able to move this much table without making any modification to your code. And maybe out of this many store procedures, this you are able to make you are able to bring this much of you're able to convert this much of database, this much of tables, this much of store procedures, this much of views. So if you see here, right, it's giving me the executive summary, and it's telling me, okay, if I have to convert the schema, I'm able to convert all the schemas. What does it mean? So here, let me view that result. So if I have to go, I have to convert. I'm able to convert all the schemas. It means if I have to move schemas, which is your. Remember, I told you these are the DBO, human resource, persons, procedures. Production, purchasing, sales. These are the schemas. So if you're trying to move that schema, it will able to create all the schemas here within your MS SQL Server. But and let's look for another thing. So why not somebody? Okay, sorry. So I have to select the database. Then only I'm able to go to the summary tab. So here in tables, right, we have almost like 71 tables. It's showing, okay, out of 71 tables, I'm able to bring 56 table, 56% of table without making any code change, and 39 of table I have to make some simple changes, and 4% is really complex action. So what does it mean here is when I look into the code, and we'll see when I will start showing you, you need to make you need to go and manually make some changes there. And why it is because Microsoft or SQL Server have some kind of functions or or procedures or objects which is not available or not supported in your Microsoft SQL Server, right? Maybe they have some kind of functions which is being not supported in their Microsoft SQL, in MySQL. And if we talked about constraint, we see like, okay, 63% of constraint is able to convert it without any making any effort. But for 37%, you need to make a small effort. And the same goes with indexes, like 90%, 95% of indexes you can able to easily make. There is, if you have to change some kind of schema, XML schema collections, there's a lot of object where you have to do a lot of work. And same goes with the trigger, because MySQL, I believe, do not support trigger, so you can't able to create trigger in MySQL. And view 60% you have to make some changes. And scalar functions, like, okay, there's a 10 scalar functions, you can just directly convert the scalar function without doing any work there. So action item, see, these are the issues. Remember, all these issues are listed here. So if I click on any of these issues, it will tell me, okay, what the issue is. It will tell me the issue.
Can you make it larger, please?
Okay, I think this is a max, because it's better now.
Not really.
Okay, I'm so sorry. This is the maximum it can go here, because let me see if tab work. Okay, but now it's too large. Okay, hope it's better, and I think I don't have any other option to make it big, but yep, I'm so sorry. So, but it's everything is being loaded into video, so when you watch YouTube, you're easily able to identify. So if you see here, right, it's showing this is a constraint foreign key product document, so something like this is a document node under this constraint. So it's showing, okay, this is the SQL, and you have an option, means you have to blob and text column cannot be included in foreign key. So in here, if you see here, right, it's showing in this add constraint, there's a foreign key where we are having the document node. This document node is some kind of a blob storage, and blob is your very large object type, right? So MySQL do not support that kind of a storage. So it's showing, okay, you cannot have this one added in constraint. So it will tell you like what all what all issues are there, what you can do to fix this. Like MySQL has the InnoDB internal maximum key length here, so you cannot have a blob or text. You have to have something which you can able to specify the column length. So this is the error message which is showing here. There's something, let's say, see, this is around creating in Microsoft does not support creating indexes with a cluster option. So you cannot create a cluster with a no, sorry, you cannot create an index with a cluster option. So this is what where you have to go and look what all kind of error you are getting, which error you're able to resolve, which not able to resolve, and but it makes your job super easy because it will telling you where you have to look and what you have to look. And also there is something called migration guide. It comes with schema conversion tool. It has really a nice playbook. We call it migration playbook. So it will provide you a lot of information around, okay, how you can make a conversion between these two database engines. One is your Microsoft SQL Server, and other one is your MySQL Server. So here, Microsoft SQL Server and MySQL does not support trigger with a for statement, right? If I have to write a trigger and it's writing a trigger and it having a for statement under it, so it Microsoft MySQL do not support that kind of operation. So maybe you wanted to convert that, make the changes there. and similar with unable to convert. So these are the issues where it do not able to convert at all. These are the issues where it provides you the recommendation how you can fix this issue. And yep, once you review that report, you may wanted to do a manual fix. And once you're done with the manual fix, you wanted to move, convert. There's something called convert schema. So what we're doing is we are converting a schema from Microsoft SQL Server to MySQL, and it's going and loading there. And once you're done with it, you're able to see all the schema being kind of moved here. So if you see here, I have a schema DVO and human resource, person, production, etc. It's showing in here. So I have this person, purchasing, human resource, DVO, everything within it. Like I have a tables and everything. So it is only moving the table which is kind of easily able to move it. Like it's not moving everything where we are having errors. So it won't able to move those things. And so see here, it's giving me the issue, what you have to do in order to fix it, and everything as such. So you have to go and either convert schema, and when you're doing a convert schema, try to convert it. If it's not, it will fail. So that's what it's trying to do here. Yep. And once you're done here, load schema. So you're loading schema there. And, this is your kind of a showcase of how schema conversion tool work. Right now, you see, okay, you have everything in here on your MySQL. What all things able to convert will like it migrated everything. So once you're done with the schema conversion tool, the second option comes into picture is your migrating that existing data, right? Because the Microsoft SQL Server comes with some data, and what you just did is you just migrated schema. You have not migrated data yet. In order to migrate data, what you need to do is there's a service called DMS, Data Migration Service. You have to go and do that particular service in order to perform that migration. So it has a multiple steps in order for you to do actual data copy. First one is you are creating a replication instance. So what is replication instance? This is the instance in between your source and destination. It's more kind of staging area, which help you to copy the data from source to destination, right?
So
This is
couple of questions, Navneet, before you move forward on the previous window when we were on the MySQL server. So all those errors that we were seeing, so who's responsible for resolving it? I know it's little off topic, but just out of curiosity, wanted to understand. Is that something taken care by the database administrator, or is that something cloud engineer takes care of? And then do we need to take permission from the engineer who actually worked on those stored procedures and views, because we don't know what we are changing, right? So my questions are very ground level. When like you're actually working with an organization, there's a couple of user stories assigned to you wherein you have to migrate certain data or schema from one database to the another. So I had these questions in my mind. So you think those make sense?
that's make perfect sense. So that's a really nice question. And so when you move your database, right? What we're doing is we are doing a heterogeneous move, right? One database to totally different database engine. One is Microsoft SQL Server, other one is MySQL, and we know this error. So what you usually do is, either your data warehouse, your data based developer, those are the guys who actually fix these issues, or means it, and your DBAs too. So either DBA or data warehouse, DBAs or your developers are fixing these issues, and they have to fix. There are some issues which they can very easily fix. Right? Remember, I showed you some issues with very less work, but some issues like where we are having red. Either this functionality is not available in in your MySQL database. So those actions required uh, required very deep consideration. Okay, maybe I have a trigger which I have built around it, and the trigger is not being supported in MySQL. So how you wanted to achieve that particular functionality in MySQL. So it's more kind of a combination of all those stake owners, right? Maybe application owner, and then your database administrator, your business analyst, and your developer. Everyone can sit together and identify, okay, this feature is not available in this particular database. What will be the option? Means what alternative option which we have? But that was really nice question. Yeah, thanks for asking.
Thanks, Navneet. So who actually performs the migration activities then? It can be one of the database developers or DBA, or it has to be the cloud engineer.
So cloud means anyone can do that, right? It's more around who wanted to take. Every company has its own. Every company has its own kind of a way of managing thing, right? Maybe in a company you have a DBAs who's doing all the data work. Maybe a company where we are having DevOps who's doing all kind of migration, and maybe we have a company where we will call them a cloud engineer. They are doing this activity. As long as they are aware of these tools, anyone can do it. But usually I have seen either DBA or developer doing it.
Got it. All right. Thank you.
Okay. No worries. So the other part of so what we did is, like, we have migrated the schema. Now we have to move. We have to migrate the data. In order to migrate the data, what I'm doing is I'm defining a replication instance, which is kind of staging area, which copy data from source and transfer it to destination. So let me quickly show you what all things you need to do in order to set up your DMS service there. So you are going here. You are in DMS, which is your. Let me quickly show you dashboard. So nothing in there. So first thing is, like, you're creating a replication instance. So replication instance, as I told you, right? It's a kind of staging area which allow you to copy data from source to destination. So in our case, let's say MS SQL to MySQL, and same like description, MS SQL to MySQL MS migration. So this is your instance class, right? This is your actually it's come with a like what we have in EC2, but it has its own pricing, DMS pricing, right? So you wanted to ensure, okay, what kind of instance type you wanted to have it in order for you to copy, and this is like pricing per hour. So we are going with the default one. We are choosing the VPC where we wanted to have it, and etc. And let's say configure it. Preference, maybe I can put it here. Subnet group. If I have to access this, I can just select it and let me create. So it's creating, right? I have by default available. So once you're done with creating a replication instance, what you need to do is you have to create an endpoint. Endpoint is nothing but creating a source and destination. So here our source is MySQL, and remember I told you uh, uh, I have one is source is Microsoft SQL Server. So what I did is I have selected this option, select RDS DB instance, as everything is running under RDS. I'm selecting RDS, or else you can provide a endpoint, and you can provide okay what kind of a database engine you're using it, etc. etc. And here RDS, I have just selected RDS. I've selected SQL Server. It giving me all those information populated, means all the information is being populated by default. I'm just providing my I'm just providing that password, and this is my database name. So my database name is, remember I showed you the database name is your adventure work. So this is my database name, Adventure Work 2017. So let me copy that database name. And move to here. Sorry. Yeah. So let's paste here. Anyways, I can put it AD. So Adventure Works 2017. And I'm just creating this endpoint here. So it's showing it is already being used. So as I have already created this one, so it is showing me this error. In your case, it won't show you an error because it is already there, so it's giving me error. Same way, once you are creating endpoint, you click on create endpoint. Earlier, I have selected as a source. Now I'm selecting as a destination or target, and then again I'm selecting as a RDS instance. In this case, it's a. Let me quickly delete first. This way you will have better understanding. Delete. Hopefully, it will allow me to create even it's deleting. So target DB is here. Let me quickly copy paste the password. Copy paste password and done. So again, it's showing okay. It is already being. It is already there. So I will wait to get it deleted. Meanwhile, what we can do is we can once you're done with creating these two replication source and destination and replication instance, these three things, the fourth will be your creating that database migration task. What is database migration task is it's the way you defining okay how you wanted to copy your data. Either you wanted to do a full load, or you wanted to do a full load and then incremental load, or for CDC. CDC is like your change data capture, so it will capture everything what all changes is happening against your database. So once you create your task, let's say copy MS equal to MySQL replication instance is your what we did is SQL Server. This is your replication instance, right? Anyone goes is fine. This is your source. This is your target, and so this is like migration type. So you have a multiple migration type. Migrate existing data, right? I mean it is only like it means I'm telling okay to perform a full load, or there's a kind of migrate existing data and replicate ongoing changes. It is like okay perform a full load and do a incremental load or CDC afterwards. It's a CDC actually, and then you have a replicate data changes only. Okay, what all data is being changed is just bring that data. I do not want it to perform the full load initially. So if you see, if you select this migration type, there is an option. There's an option like okay, task setting, and things will be changing here. So target data preparation mode is okay. Drop tables on target means I do not want it to drop table. I just wanted to do a copy. So I did that. Include column in replication. Don't include LOV. It's like a very large object. So I wanted to do include those large object, yes or no. You have an option, or you wanted to kind of truncate those value. Here you have an option as well. Uh, if you're selecting migrate existing data and replicate ongoing changes, then it will tell you okay. Then it will ask you the CDC option. CDC is change data capture. So all the changes which you are making against your database, that is like inserting the record, deleting the record, updating the record, everything is being get replicated. Okay. uh, you to turn don't use CDC stop mode. Or maybe what the CDC stop mode is. It will let you kind of schedule when you wanted to copy and when you wanted to stop. So it will let you do that. Uh, Here is your target table preparation mode. Then again, remember I told you what all option we have here. Stop task after full load. So what all option you wanted to do, like okay, you wanted to after the full load you wanted to stop the task, or you wanted to perform any other option, like stop before applying cast changes, before stop after applying the cast changes. And then again it will be giving you option whether you want to have those large objects included here or no. So let's say if I am going with the full load, then there's something called table mapping. What all things which I wanted to bring, I can create multiple rules there, right? So I can select what all schemas are there. Maybe I just wanted to bring one particular schema within entire database. uh, I showed you, right, MySQL, Microsoft SQL Server, it has a 7 schema, and I just wanted to bring just DBO out of it. I just do not want to bring the rest of them. Then I can define here and DBO, so it will only bring a DBO. Or maybe I just wanted to bring everything which is related to sales. Maybe I just wanted to bring everything in DBO, which has the sales in it, right? Um, so I can define in a way, okay, it include everything, or I wanted to exclude DBO and sales, and I wanted to copy rest of the data. So it has an option for you to include and exclude here. And same goes with the on the destination side. So when you're transforming, okay, what will be your target schema, and what kind of schema, what will be your schema name, etc. And you can put it there. Action, make lowercase, add prefix, remove prefix. There's a ton of options is there which you can do that. And or else you're not, if you do not interested in just performing entire copy, you can just have this both the things cancelled and create task. But before creating the task, let's see if we have an endpoint, because remember I deleted one endpoint. So let's quickly create this endpoint. Okay, it's showing I have to include one mapping rule. So let's say, so what I did is like I have kept default. Yeah, it means I'm copying everything. So it's done, right? It's full load. Now you have to go and okay, it's still creating. So once it's been created, then we have a multiple option to work against it. Under that, you can start, restart, resume, stop, modify. So there's a lot of options are available. And yeah, event description. Let this task be created. So see, this task is being created. Now it's starting this database migration task. And once the database migration task will start, it will start copying the data from source to destination. And table statics, it will tell you like what all table is being copied, etc. Here it will give you the CloudWatch metrics. It will give you the mapping rule if there is a mapping rule. For us, like we are bringing everything, so it's very simple. And as we are doing just a full load, it only performs full load. We are not doing the CDC, remember? So you can select the CDC option as well. And so this is about our database migration services. So if you are preparing for any interview or if you're preparing for any certification, knowing this service is important. You can just remember all other services around DataSync and so see, this load is completed. It copied like almost 71 tables, everything as such. So it's done, right? If I have to go and look for the stats, see how much data has been copied from one data to another. So it's copied sales and everything. Awesome. So look at like how fast the transfer happened. Like within minutes, I moved this much of data from one source to another source, and this is beautiful. Okay, so yeah, this is this. Yeah, I was telling you what all things are important. So knowing about data migration services is important. So I will share that document with you guys and also put in a video description on YouTube, so you can able to perform the what I have showed you here and on your AWS account too. And just keep in mind this DMS this is not free, I believe. If you're choosing a couple of instances here, the DMS instance, I don't believe any of the DMS instance comes under the free tier. So it has some charges. But if you see here, right, it hardly took me to have a couple minutes to perform all those migration. So it will cost you some money, but it's worth trying to, and it's worth knowing this tool, how this tool works. Okay. Having said that, let me see if I have anything else in here. Any questions here? Okay. So that was our last tab. So I will take a pause and I will let you guys ask any question before we can wrap up the session.
Yeah, I have one question, Navneet.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
So, if for example, if in our company we have Oracle database, and if we want to migrate to AWS in RDS or DynamoDB, so do you have any slides on DynamoDB or? That's the first question. And second question is, if we migrate from Oracle to RDS, the process will be the same because you showed in both yes already exist in your AWS, right? But if
Right. So yes, the process will remain same. The reason being here, I just for ease, I have selected I have selected RDS instance, but for you, it's just like connecting source and destination. It is as simple as that. So when you create a like let's say this, I'm just saving this project and creating a new project. When I'm creating a new project, I will able to just provide what is my source and what will be my destination, right? On a so here. So here you're providing your transactional, you're selecting your Oracle, right? And let's say if you wanted to go to the Postgres or RDS Aurora, you're able to select. And you ask like, okay, if you're able to move to MySQL, from NoSQL, right? DynamoDB. So on a DynamoDB, you're able to move from Cassandra to DynamoDB because Oracle is a OLTP, so it won't allow you to move DynamoDB because DynamoDB is a NoSQL. So from Oracle, you can only move from Oracle to this kind of a OLTP databases, maybe Postgres or MySQL or MariaDB. So you can connect here, and just when you're connecting your Oracle database, right? As long as you're having connectivity between your data center to uh, to AWS, by using Direct Connect or anything, are you able to perform the connectivity uh, to your instance? Here you can means here you're installing on. I have installed on EC2 instance. You can install anywhere else, and you are providing. I believe you are providing the TNS name in case of Oracle, right? So you're providing the TNS name, a file path, etc., and then it will able to browse all those SQL servers all those Oracle servers in there. So what I'm into here is you able to connect to your on-prem database as well, and as long as you are having connectivity between your on-prem to AWS environment, you're able to go and do migration as well. Because let's say if you this is source, you connect it to your Oracle. Here in destination, you are providing your RDS instance, so you definitely need to have an access to your RDS instance from the machine which you are planning to connect, or where you're planning to install this schema conversion tool. That answer your question?
yes, that's correct. Yes, that's good.
Yeah, but this is really nice tool to start your project with, and I have seen a lot of people using this tool to migrate from Oracle, and a lot of company actually migrating from Oracle to Oracle Microsoft SQL to open source database. The reason being, I told you initially, the licensing cost, and in this open source databases is as good as your enterprise grade databases like Microsoft SQL Server or Oracle.
And for DynamoDB, the process is different if we have NoSQL database.
No, for the DynamoDB process will remain same as long as so if you are moving from Cassandra, right? So if you're moving from Cassandra to DynamoDB, the process will remain same. You can create a new project. You can provide your source as your Cassandra, and then destination as your DynamoDB. But you cannot move from Oracle to DynamoDB because Oracle is your RDBMS database. DynamoDB is your NoSQL database.
Got it. No, we have both actually. So that's the reason I'm asking.
Okay, yeah. Then you're able to move it, yes.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Okay. Any further question, guys? If not, so I think we are good today. Okay. Next session I will try to have on Friday. Thursday is like, I'm not getting enough time for preparation, so we'll try to have a next session on Friday about AWS EC2, like compute resources, compute services. So okay, we'll see you on Friday. I will send an invite.
Yeah, thanks, Navneet.
Thank you,
Yep.
Navneet.
Thank you.